Hi, my name is Chris Steele. I'm with Chet Holmes International. Chet Holmes himself passed away a few years ago, but not before leaving a prolific legacy after writing the book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. Changed the landscape of how businesses are developed. And today we're going to talk to you about some of the best techniques to be able to optimize how you develop your business. Love working with inside sales. It's great. I love the fact that you've whittled away about 20 minutes for this brief video presentation that's oriented toward hiring the best salespeople. So the topic of today's presentation is the 2-minute techniques that weed out weak salespeople before you hire them. That's the ideal, is to not spend too much time spinning your cycles around hiring people. So again, at CHI, we're all about helping companies grow faster, better, and smarter. So for the next 20 minutes, go ahead and just be fully present. Make sure you're taking notes. There's going to be a lot of content coming at you here over the course of the next few minutes. So make sure that you're prepared to open your mind to the possibilities of how to put the right people in the right seats in the bus. So let's get right to it. So research of hundreds of top salespeople in all fields show that they have the ability to bond and be friends with almost anyone. That's rapport, being able to develop rapport most effectively. They got the drive, they got the passion, they've got the self-confidence, they know how to close the deal, they know how to get the business, and they're not fazed by rejections or obstacles along the way. Now, there's 5 traits of superstar salespeople. So as we consider what these 5 traits are, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. Managing some multimedia, it's always a good thing to do. So as I show you the screen, so you can see on the screen here, you've got the first aspect of the formula to create a top sales force is empathy, making sure that you're finding people that have got empathy. They've got a sincere interest in helping their clients succeed. So being empathetic towards the need of their clients. My definition of sales, it's the process of enrolling people to achieve their vision by leveraging your solution. Write that down. It's the process of enrolling people to leverage, the process of enrolling people to achieve their vision by leveraging your solution. That's what we call sales. And it starts with empathy, being empathetic, knowing that you've got a moral obligation and your people have a moral obligation to make a difference in the lives of your clients and prospects. The second aspect of the formula for hiring a top sales force is ego, ego strength, ego drive, hiring people that know that they're good. They have ambition. They're able to take rejection, and rejection's going to happen in the context of selling. And let it roll off their back like water off a duck's back. Don't take it personally. So then also superior skill sets, being able to keep that edge sharp, being productive. Sales is about leadership. It's about influence and persuasion, and leaders are readers. So bringing people in that are oriented toward optimizing their capability all the time. They're improving their market knowledge, increasing their awareness and increasing their ability to influence people because they're perceived as an expert in the marketplace first. So making sure you bring in people that have got market knowledge and that they're oriented toward training. Just like whether you're a championship level athlete or a championship level sales performer, you're always raising the bar. You're always oriented toward optimizing your ability, your capability to be able to improve how you sell and who you're selling to. So as we get into this, there's rules for hiring superstars, sales superstars, not just anybody off the street. These days, there's a lot of people out there that have got really good resumes. So here's a resume. It's a piece of paper. It's an ad. So it's really important to be able to take the resume, look at it, see what the background is. Probably a lot of rhetoric, maybe a lot of hyperbole in this resume. But look beyond the resume. Look past it. You can't hire superstars from a resume. Age and experience don't often matter. The psychological profile is everything when it comes to hiring people. Make sure you're designing an ad. So as you talk about an ad, I have an ideal ad right here, which we'll be able to share with you here in a moment if you're interested in actually getting this. But it's the ad that's really oriented toward attracting the right people. Superstars only. As a sales champion, you're going to lead sales initiatives. You're going to challenge people to be able to step up. Great perspectives in this ad. What to do next, call to action. But one of the keys with the ad is that it has to scare away the weak. It has to be an ad that's going to attract champions because they know that they are champions. So once you get people engaged, you get them on the phone, make sure you're optimizing your interview techniques. personally, that you personally are screening the inquiries. Again, not too many. I mean, as the owner of a business, it's not about having too many inquiries and having to fight through the gauntlet of all the people that want a job, but making sure you're optimizing your interview techniques. And we're going to be talking about that here as we go through today's brief discussion. And really what it comes down to is you're engaging with people, don't be put off by a little arrogance. Top producers know that they're good. Champions know that they're good. So as you're engaging with people, whether it be on the phone or face-to-face, if they're a little cocky, that's not a bad thing necessarily. And they get to be confident when they're confronted with the third degree. And we're going to actually get into the third degree here in a moment. So most superstars will intimidate you to some degree, and they may even come across as a little arrogant. That's because they know that they're good. So don't discount a person's ability to sell or a person's ability to join your culture just because of his confidence. But put them to the test. So talk to them on the phone, screen them initially. If you decide to interview them, tell them before they come into the interview that you want them to write down the 5 questions that they would like to be asked during the interview. So have them bring their own questions in. Tell them that they're going to be judged by the quality of their questions, and that you want questions that are going to show their best sides, questions that are going to tell you a lot about them. So again, tell them to ask to make sure that they're writing down these questions before they come and meet with you. And of course, tell them to bring a resume to the interview. So now you got them into the interview. So they're qualified. You've determined the right personality, the right profile. Now during the interview, there's a 3-step process that we're going to unpack here. We call it relax, probe, and attack. Okay, so write that down. Relax, probe, and attack. The first aspect of the ideal hiring interview is you're running people through the process of understanding that they're the right person for your business, and you get to understand whether or not they're a champion, is to be friendly. Get them to relax. Get them to like you. Try to understand their psyche and who they really are. Tell them, hey, it's great to have you here. I'm not looking for standard answers. I'm looking for authenticity. I want you to be honest so we can discover whether or not you'll be happy here, okay? So let me understand what shaped you. So get them to relax, Then the second step is the probe. So you want to seek deep understanding about their psyche and their background. And if they feel uncomfortable asking questions about their background and themselves, they lack empathy. Top producers actually live to bond with others. So you need to find somebody in their background that gave them confidence. Could be their mother, could be somebody who actually encouraged them along the way, and ask them questions around that. Determine if the candidate's background contributed to their present level of confidence. So ask them questions like, what type of things in your childhood shaped who you are? How were you raised? Tell me about some of the biggest challenges you had in your life. Not necessarily work-related. And ask how they dealt with them. Again, you're probing now. Tell me about the toughest sale you ever had. Again, ask specifics. Drill deeper. What they said, details of the process. What was the crunch? How did they close the deal? And notice, they're probably beginning to sweat a little bit, but again, they're relaxed. You've got them relaxed. You're probing, but again, it's not you're not running them through the gauntlet just yet. You haven't laid down the supreme challenge, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. So make sure you're looking at other areas of accomplishments as well. Top producers usually have other areas of discipline, physical skill, or accomplishment. So ask them questions like, tell me about a time in your life when you surmounted difficult odds. Tell me about the 3 or 4 things of which you are most proud of. So why? Why are you proud of those? Have you practiced or overachieved in any other area or discipline like sports, music? What levels of knowledge? Can you give me another example of where your personal determination took you through to winning something? So notice your condition. You're cultivating their mindset to be able to step up, to be able to show that they are a champion. And they're probably doing really well at this point. They're conveying themselves well. They're articulating themselves well. You want to determine their ability to bond with other people during this process. Top producers are eager to please and bond with others. So their life is an open book. That you got to determine whether or not they're closed, if they're open. So make sure you ask them things that are going to give you those perspectives. Maybe something along the lines of, tell me, how would your best friend describe you? Of all the people you know, who has the most faith in you? And why is that? And, here's an idea. What are some of your best memories? So again, you're relaxing, you're probing. Now what you want to do is you want to get them to rate themselves, determine what their confidence is. So you want to get them to rate themselves in key areas of confidence. Let me just change the screen here real quick. So as you're looking at the key areas of confidence, you want to determine their areas of confidence. So you can see as we're talking about this, number one, you want to ask them to rate themselves in these 10 areas. Number one is their ego, drive, and ambition. Give me a 1 to 10. Ego, drive, ambition, 1 to 10 scale. 1 meaning that you suck, 10 meaning that you're solid and you're confident. And see how they rate themselves. Ego strength, their confidence. How would you rate yourself? 1 to 10. Your ability to face rejection. Empathy, 1 to 10. Establishing rapport. How well do you do that? Time management. And presentation skills. Your strategic thinking. How strategic are they on a 1 to 10 scale? And again, getting them to reflect on this. What's your market knowledge on a 1 to 10 scale? Ask them that. When it comes to self-improvement, what's your ethic on self-improvement? And of course, getting around the gatekeepers. So as you're looking at these on the screen, one of the things to consider is that you're confronting them with the reality of their condition. And this is really going to allow you to be able to see whether or not these are the people that are going to be compatible and appropriate with your business and your culture. So who's the best salesperson you've ever met? Why is that? If they name themselves, then offer them the job on the spot, right? And if not, ask them what the difference between that person and you is. See, look at all the golden nuggets. I mean, there's a lot of good perspectives out here. And again, as you're empathetic, as again, you guys are business leaders, you understand that if you were in this condition and you're being asked these questions, you're seeing that it's a good challenging opportunity for people to step up. So if you were asked these questions, are you going to be the type of person that steps up? Your prerogative as the owner of the business, as you develop your business, is to make sure that you're challenging people to be able to rate themselves in ways that need to be oriented toward optimizing your business, because that's what it's all about. You also want them to ask them to rate themselves in certain key abilities. So make sure you ask them to rate themselves on 1 to 10 scale in these areas, because these are the superstars are going to rate themselves effectively. So again, run through the gauntlet, 1 to 10. How well do you develop rapport? How well do you qualify people? How well do you build value? Notice what we're doing is we're unpacking the sales process, asking them for whether or not they've got a good capability. And who knows, they might say they're intent on all of these. All right, okay, that's good. That's good to know. Overcoming objections, closing skills. What are your closing skills on a 1 to 10 scale? What are your follow-up skills? What are your presentation skills? Your cold calling skills, as well as your discipline around cold calling. So it's important as you're considering this stuff. Once again, you're confronting people with the reality of the condition of their paradigm. And this is oftentimes some people will cave at this point. If they're engaging with you and the conversation is going well, maybe they are the champion. In a moment, we're actually going to totally vet that. So you want to make sure that you determine their dedication and their desire for improvement. The best ways, the best people are always striving to better themselves. So ask them, what was the last self-help book they ever read, or a tape, or even a podcast? Which seminars did you attend recently? Ask them, of all the people in the world today, who do you admire most? So again, make sure you're writing this stuff down. After you've bonded and you've got rapport with them, ask them about their resume history. Now you're getting into the context of their past, which people are usually proud of. Why did you leave each of the last 3 positions? Go through that. Have their resume. Make sure you get their resume in your hand. They know you got it. They probably have a copy themselves. Okay, so tell me about the last 3 positions. Also, why are you looking? What was bad about the last position, or maybe the position you're currently in? Why are you looking to leave it? Maybe they've already left a job. If you left, why were you unhappy? Ask them, what are their top 3 personal goals? What are you doing right now to achieve them? So what you're doing is you're determining confidence, perseverance in their judgment. Another question. Tell me about a disappointment or a disagreement with a boss and what happened. Then what? What then? What happened? Unpack them. Get into their psychology. Name 2 weak points of your previous boss, and how did you deal with that? How do you handle stress? What was your technique? Give me some recent examples around managing stress. So one of the overarching this thought processes here as you're going through this process is don't react to their answers negatively, or don't even react positively. Just be non-emotive. Be nice and listen. And if you're acting negatively to anything that the person says, that they're going to clam up and they won't tell you anything more. So you have to encourage them to tell you more. Okay, so relax, probe. Now the last point is this is the parameter. This is the key aspect of determining championship level sales performance. It's called the attack. And this separates the men and the women from the boys and the girls. So you have to find somebody that you think is a top communicator, a top producer. You know, they're likable. They have a good sense of self, and they've got good rapport skills. So the attack stage, if you've gone through everything we talked about, relaxing, the probe, it's going to tell you whether or not they really believe in themselves. And this is a prerequisite for top producers. And if they can't take rejection and they don't come back even stronger, then frankly, they're never going to be able to close the sale. So the ultimate interview test, it's the attack. So here's the role play. What you want to do is you're talking to them, you're engaging with them, you're understanding who they are, their characteristics, everything we talked about. And then you want to tactfully tell the candidate that you don't think they have the right stuff. Here's the script. You know, Joe, you really seem like a nice person, but I only have one opening and I need a real superstar. So while I'm sure you do well in many other endeavors, this is a very competitive business, and I really don't doubt your particular skills and personality. But frankly, I don't see that how they're going to hold up in this business. I really don't see championship level performance. And look at them directly and watch them crumble. This attack process will amaze you. A lot of candidates will look at you for a minute. They'll crumble. They say, "Well, I guess you know your stuff," and they're going to doubt themselves. But a producer, a champion, is never going to crumble. A top producer is going to say, "What are you, deaf?" They're going to confront you. They're going to say, maybe you just didn't hear what I said. A top producer is going to convince you that he or she can do any job, even when you attack or express doubts, because that's the reality of the condition. Again, this is champions. We're looking for champions that are out there. So the attack phase, it may be hard to do for some people. I know when I was, Chet and Met turned me on this several years ago, and it was kind of uncomfortable because you're actually getting into people's psychology and you're confronting them around some core belief systems. You may feel that it's hard to attack the candidate's ability. But if you can convince them that they don't have what it takes, then frankly, they're not going to be a top producer, and you get to then usher them out the door. So the bottom line in this context is to only hire the best, and through that process, weed out the people that don't have what it takes, extend respect to them, honor them, but realize that, they're just going to bind your business. That's how it's done. Because too many people out there these days say they're a great resource. They say they have what it takes. Your prerogative is to make sure you relax them, probe, attack, challenge their capability as a championship level performer, and watch your business soar through the process. So what we want to do, again, I know this has been valuable for you. I know you've taken lots of notes, lots of great perspectives. It's the condition of hiring, hiring top producers and champions. But what we want to do, of course, we want to always provide additional value. The inside sales folks are about that as well. So I mentioned before the book. Chet Holmes wrote a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. And you can go out and buy that book right now. Frankly, it's my dictionary of business development. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away chapter 4 of the book. Chapter 4 of The Ultimate Sales Machine is the linchpin chapter of the book. And we're going to give it away for free. And you can see on the screen here, the URL is chetholmes.com/sales machine. So you can see the URL right there. This is actually the landing page you'll go to, chetholmes.com/sales machine. And you can download the chapter. It's a prolific chapter. It's chapter 4. It basically is a really good summary of the entire book. And we're giving that away for free. So again, it's one of the things we love to do is, make sure that people get impeccable value through the process and that their business and their life is optimized. We also, by the way, I mentioned before this ad, this hiring ad that I was showing earlier. There's actually this perfect ad. You can see it's multiple pages. You can reduce it. It's flexible. We're actually going to give you the template for that ad. So what you want to do is another URL, type in chetholmes.com/hiring ad. So again, chetholmes.com/hiring ad. So go there. You'll be able to download the template for the ad. A lot of people ask us for that. So we're just giving it away for free. So 20 minutes on the nose. Our ideal for you is that you're equipped to understand what it takes to be able to put the right people in the right seats in the bus. Again, I'm giving you some free stuff here. So as you go back into your day, as you consider how you're developing your business and how you're optimizing, it's really important to make sure that you're taking yourself on and that you're honing the edge and you're doing what it takes. So with that, I'll bid you adieu. Wish you the best. Again, Chris Steele, Chet Holmes International. And my challenge to you is to do what it takes.